Hey honey, so tonight we're doing breakfast for dinner. So I decided to do something light for dinner and I thought breakfast would be a great idea, but it's really not that light because I'm doing everything from scratch. Which I'm so excited to be doing, so the first thing I have to do is prepare the biscuits. Although I love a good Jimmy Dean sandwich in the morning that I could just take out the freezer and pop in the microwave, baby, he want too much money for just 4 to be in the box. He don't even give us 7 for the week. But that's no shade, Jimmy, because I like them little egg witch frittatas that you got. Yeah, I'm going to be back for them. Oh, and also, Jimmy, I need you to send me some of that sage sausage. You did that. All right, so now that I have a better bowl, I'm just going to head and sift all my dry ingredients together just to make sure that everything's blended evenly because we want some nice, pretty flaky biscuits. And we don't want our ratio of ingredients to be off because then our biscuits will be off. All right, so now that I have everything sifted, I did use kosher salt and those chunks are too big to go through the holes. So what I'm also doing is just doing a little bit of extra with getting that salt in there. So now we need to add our butter. I'm going ahead and manipulate that within our dry ingredients because this is going to help us get that flaky texture with the finish and nice buttery taste. So now I do want to try this again to see what it would be like if I had warm butter or just completely melted. But for tonight, I'm just going to try this technique and we just want to, like I said, evenly blend the butter within the dry ingredients, but not manipulating it too much that we melt it. Because when I start rolling it out and folding it, that's how I want it to bake into the layers like that. So even though my butter pieces were already small, I do need to make them smaller down to like pea size or hazelnut size. Dang, I lost one of my butters and I couldn't find it. And I wasn't gonna pick it up and put it back in the bowl. I just need to be able to locate it so that I don't step on it. Yeah, so I'm just taking my time here, just continuing to get all the butter into there, just making sure that I've got all them even pieces. Now, it's not really necessary to have like every last one because you really can't see all of it, but I want to make sure. But yeah, feel free to check behind me, look at what you see, just to make sure that I'm good because we want some good biscuits. So now that I feel like I've done that pretty thoroughly, I'm gonna get ready to add our wet ingredients. So when I try this again, I definitely want to try with buttermilk, but right now we're just using regular. So now I do want to try this again, perhaps with almond milk, and if you save the water from garbanzo beans, that could also be used as a substitute, but this is also for those who don't drink dairy or have allergies to it. But I just have to play around with the formula when it comes to baking because dairy is a big part in it. All right, so now I'll add a little bit more. I feel like I added a little bit too much because the dough is actually really too wet, but we're just gonna thug it out anyway. And we're not gonna use any mechanical means to mix this because I think it will overmix it and we don't want that. So now I'm just taking my spatula and just mixing all of that, making sure it's wet enough and hydrated enough to begin the roll out and folding process. All right, so now I think that my dough is more than hydrated, and so now we're just going to get it on the counter and get to rolling. Now, when I'm in the kitchen, I'm on a mission. I just need to be able to get stuff done and I need enough space. So I make sure to bleach and sanitize my counters before I use them because that is where I do majority of my cooking and seasoning or whatever. I just really don't want the hassle of always pulling out a cutting board, rinsing it off, and then having multiple cutting boards. That don't make sense to me when I got all this open counter space. Now, because I did feel like I did add a little bit too much milk, I'm just using the leftover flour that spilled over out of the bowl to just soak it up in the batter just to help kind of like dry it just a little bit. All right, so then I'm just gonna pack it all together in like a rectangle form and then get ready to roll it out and fold it. And to be honest, like as a chef, you don't really always have room to be like, oh, I can't do this because of this because I don't have this. You see here, I don't have a rolling pin, but I'm making it work. Cooking and baking is all about creativity, and that's what I just love so much. You just think on the spot, and I'm really good at improv, so it worked. You need to always be prepared to have an alternative. All right, so now we are gonna go ahead and do our folding, and then I gotta do some more rolling now. I'm gonna fold it a few times just so like we can get those butter layers like evenly blended and distributed for when we get into making the biscuits. All right, so now it's time to cut. I'm gonna keep it a band. I think that this is too thin, but it's okay. I'm going for a more rustic look. My rectangle is actually really long, so I'm just doing my cuts. Now I don't have like any biscuit cutters, and I don't want to do all that because I just wanted like a more like rustic cut again, but I think I may invest in one. But I want to try this again because the way that this is laid out, it would make it look like a good flatbread, so we'll see. So then I'm just gonna go ahead and slip them in the oven, and it looks like they are done. So let's see how they turned out. Now the shaping could be better, but you still gonna eat it. And if you don't, you're just gonna be hungry. Y'all see my plug collar in the back? That boy really was back there crying. And that is why you see me flipping an egg with one hand and get these biscuits ready for you. And I got you some dragon fruit and kiwis on the side, and here you go. All done, honey. Then I drizzled it with honey on the top.